Discovered, incredible voice memo reveals hidden truth, turning love into heartbreak overnight. Jamie stood behind the counter of Maplewood's beloved diner, the sun streaming through the windows, painting the room in warm golden hues. The scent of fresh baked pies filled the air, a sweet embrace for the townsfolk bustling in for a slice of comfort. But today, amidst the laughter and chatter, her heart felt heavy, an anchor in her chest. She was a 23-year-old waitress juggling her demanding job and the weight of responsibility for her single mother and younger brother. The hopes of a college dream hung delicately on her brother's shoulders, and Jamie longed for a day when financial security would lift them from their struggles. Then there was Ethan, the down-to-earth mechanic with a smile that lit up even the cloudiest days. He wrapped her in reassurance, whispering dreams of a future together, one without hardship. They would support one another, or so Jamie believed, until that fateful moment. After a late shift ended, she absent-mindedly picked up Ethan's phone from the table, intending to hand it back. But a bright notification caught her eye. Curiosity sparked, she pressed play on the voice memo. The words that rolled out transformed her entire world in an instant. Ethan's voice wasn't just that of her love, it carried whispers of privilege, of a family buried in generational wealth she never knew existed. It crushed her to think their love was rooted in unequal soil. Confusion washed over her, a tidal wave of betrayal crashing in. Jamie listened to the recording again and again, each replay ripping away at the very fabric of their relationship. A love she thought was pure suddenly felt like an illusion, and the facade of perfection crumbled around her. As whispers spread like wildfire through Maplewood, the twinkling lights of the upcoming county fair dimmed in her eyes. Townsfolk, familiar with her grit, began to judge her. Many had faced their own struggles against those who lived behind gilded doors. Jamie once stood as a symbol of hard work and relentless honesty, but now she found herself at the center of a storm, grappling with feelings of anger toward Ethan, questioning every late-night text and sweet promise. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Even as excitement filled the air for the county fair, the tension was palpable. Jamie found herself lost in the vibrant chaos, surrounded by families buckled in on rides, laughter echoing through the ever-busy streets. A showdown brewed, as both families unveiled hidden truths, revealing the biases that had shaped them. Jamie stood at a crossroads, torn between her family's values and the deep-rooted love she felt for Ethan. With every heartbeat, doubt consumed her. Could love truly transcend such vastly unequal foundations? As the past surged back with unexpected connections threatening to unravel everything she held dear, Jamie awaited the moment that would change her life forever. The question hung in the air, sharp as a knife: could truth bring healing, or would it shatter the delicate threads of their fragile love? The county fairgrounds pulsed with life, the heart of Maplewood beating beneath the splashes of color and laughter. Yet for Jamie, each sound felt distant. She wandered aimlessly, trying to ignore the knots in her stomach as her mind replayed the voice memo. Ethan's laughter was a cruel contrast to the anguish she felt inside. She pushed her way through crowds, her eyes locking onto the stall selling caramel apples, the sticky treats that once brought her joy. She remembered sharing one with Ethan last year, his cheeky grin as he wiped the caramel off his chin. Now, every bite felt tainted with bitterness. Jamie. The familiar voice pulled her from her thoughts. It was Sarah, her best friend. "You okay? You're looking a bit ghostly." Forcing a weak smile, Jamie shrugged. "Just tired." Sarah raised her eyebrows but didn't press. "The Ferris wheel is about to start. Let us go." Jamie didn't he have the heart to refuse? As they climbed into the car, Jamie's stomach flipped. The ride rose high above the fair, giving her a breathtaking view of the lights twinkling below. But as the Ferris wheel paused at its peak, her heart plummeted. She thought she'd see the thrill reflected in Ethan's eyes beside her, not the emptiness of her own anguish. "Look at that!" Sarah exclaimed, pointing at a game stand filled with plush toys. "I'm going to win us one." Her excitement was contagious, and for a moment, Jamie forgot her concerns. But as she cheered her friend on, the truth nagged at her. What if Ethan never intended for her to find out? The thought gnawed at her insides. Her friend's laughter floated around her, and all she could do was smile to fit in, concealing her heartache beneath a mask of joy. After the Ferris wheel, they drifted toward the food stalls, indulgent aromas filling the air, but Jamie felt nauseous. She spotted Ethan in the crowd, his laughter ringing out as he shared a joke with friends. Something tightened in her chest. What would she say if he came over? Would he even approach her? The heaviness of unspoken words hung like a cloud between them, threatening to pour rain on their fragile happiness. Every smile exchanged with him would now be a reminder of the truth she had uncovered, a truth that now felt more like a stranger than a friend. "Hey, look who it is." Sarah's voice broke through her reverie again. Jamie turned to see Ethan walking toward them, his face animated. He didn't see the turmoil in her eyes. He only saw the girl he loved. "Jamie. Sarah." He waved, pulling her into a brief embrace that felt simultaneously comforting and isolating, as if the entire world faded away. "Having fun?" he asked casually, unaware of the brewing storm inside her. "Yeah, a blast," Jamie managed, her voice wavering. Ethan looked at her, searching for something that seemed to spark hope in his eyes. But Jamie's heart sank. Did he know the cracks forming between their worlds? Before she could find her voice, a raucous cheer erupted from a nearby game. A burst of energy from the crowd seemed to shift the atmosphere, leaving her uncertain again. As he turned to Sarah, laughter filling the space where guilt cradled her heart, Jamie stole a glance at the horizon. The setting sun cast a warm glow, a beautiful facade over a brewing storm. Could she confront him? Could she peel back the layers and reveal the truth she'd discovered? The moment hung in the air, pressing on her chest like a weight. She felt fear and longing intertwined. Could love withstand such vulnerability? Would revealing everything bring more pain than healing? "Jamie?" Ethan's voice pulled her back to reality, his eyes locking on hers with confusion, a flicker of concern chasing away the laughter. In that moment, she realized something profound. What she most feared was not losing him, but losing herself. The truth felt both terrifying and liberating. As a breeze blew through the fair, rustling the leaves and sending a shiver up her spine, Jamie took a deep breath. This was the moment she had to decide. The crossroads of truth and love lay open before her. Would she hold on to the past or step bravely into the truth? Jamie's heart thundered in her chest as she looked into Ethan's eyes, ready to confront the reality surrounding them. The moment stretched on, each heartbeat echoing in Jamie's ears as she tried to gather her thoughts. Ethan's gaze, warm and expectant, was a lifeline in a tumultuous sea of uncertainty. She could almost feel the weight of the unspoken words pressing down on her. Every second felt like an hour. "Jamie, are you okay?" His brow creased with concern, unbothered by the chaos swirling inside her. It was almost unbearable. How could she ruin the smile on his face? But then, the truth hung in the air like a storm cloud, on the verge of bursting. "Yeah, she stammered, hesitating. What did she want to say? How could she explain the pain and confusion that had been consuming her since the revelation? "Jamie," Sarah interrupted, always perceptive. "How about we grab some cotton candy? I'll take my chance on the ring toss afterward. She clapped her hands excitedly, an innocent distraction. Jamie could tell Sarah was eager for a break from Ethan's probing stare. Sensing the tension, the softness of Sarah's voice broke through Jamie's hesitation. Maybe a distraction was what she needed. Sure, sounds good. The words slipped out, but inside, Jamie was battling a tempest. As they walked together, a part of her felt guilty for leaving Ethan questioning. She kept glancing back at him, watching as he stood tall, still smiling, completely unaware. The guilt twisted in her gut, but the tension felt almost suffocating. She couldn't keep pretending everything was right. Do you think he has any idea? Jamie murmured, more to herself than to Sarah. But Sarah was quick to respond. Of course not. If he had, wouldn't he look so happy? You two were great together. She paused, allowing the unspoken thoughts to linger in the air. But, if something is bothering you, Jamie, you need to talk about it. It's always better to know than to hide. Just as those words settled, Jamie felt her phone buzz in her pocket. She pulled it out, holding her breath as she saw the sender's name pop up. It was Ethan, sending a message. Her heart raced. Hey, are you okay? You seemed a bit off at the ride. Jamie felt the moisture in her palms. The timing was ironic, yet it pierced the confusion even deeper. She didn't know if she could hide her feelings behind a text. How much could she reveal without spiraling? The truth felt like a double-edged sword. Should she respond now? Or wait until she could address him face to face? Earth to Jamie. Sarah's teasing voice brought her back. You've gotta make a choice. Cotton candy or just the ring toss? Sorry, what? Jamie replied, trying to shake off the clouds. You're lost in thought. Sarah laughed, nudging her side. I vote for cotton candy first. Let's drown your worries in sugar. With a slight smile, Jamie nodded, but the worry still danced at the corners of her mind. She felt trapped between two worlds, the lingering joy of the fair and the harsh reality waiting for her in heartfelt conversations. As they approached the cotton candy stand, Ethan appeared on the edge of her vision. He was looking at her intently, his expression shifting from joy to something uncertain. It felt like he was waiting for something, too. Hey, Jamie. Can we talk? He called out, his voice cutting through the revelry. Jamie's stomach dropped. This was it. The crossroads she'd been dreading. The moment she would have to face the music and tell him everything she had discovered. With an exhale, she nodded. Yeah, we can talk, she replied, her voice stronger than she felt. The vibrant colors of the fair seemed to fade away, shadows creeping back in as the truth loomed closer. Could she find the words? As they stepped away from the laughter of the crowd, Jamie took one last look at Sarah, who offered an encouraging smile. Taking a deep breath, Jamie squared her shoulders, ready to step bravely into the uncertainty ahead. Everything is about to change, she thought as Ethan's eyes searched hers, but would it be for better or worse? Then, they were alone and it was time to confront the truth. The crowd faded into the background, a dull hum compared to the storm brewing in Jamie's chest. She felt the prickles of anxiety race along her arms as she and Ethan found a secluded corner of the fair, the colorful lights now mere blurs beneath her anxious gaze. Jamie, Ethan started, his voice low and steady, what is going on? You seem really different tonight. He shifted closer, his expression earnest, eyes glimmering with concern. Jamie could hardly breathe. The affection she saw in him felt like a candle flickering in a gust of wind, fragile and bright, fighting against the inevitable darkness. She opened her mouth to speak, every syllable somewhere lodged in her throat. How could she open this door? Ethan, the words felt stuck, tangled in the web of emotions crashing upon her. I need to tell you something. Ethan's brow furrowed deeper. You can tell me anything. I promise. His unwavering support zapped through her a wave of warmth and strength mingling with the cold grip of fear. But could she trust him with the truth? Would it change everything? Their laughter, their memories, could it all unravel with a few simple words? It's about your brother, she murmured, avoiding his gaze as the clouds of guilt overshadowed the glimmer of hope. A flicker of confusion crossed Ethan's face. My brother. What about him? She could see the moments flash through his mind, the two of them laughing, the sibling bond that seemed so unwavering. But Jamie knew the truth twisted around that bond, darker than even her swirling fears. I found out something that changes everything. What do you mean? He pressed, concern etched into his features. You are scaring me. I heard a voice, Memo, she finally confessed, the words spilling out like water from a broken dam. It was sent from him about you and me. About a secret. Ethan stepped back as if she had struck him. What kind of secret? Her heart raced, feelings rolling over her like thunderclouds. He thinks we're not right for each other. He doesn't want us together. She waited for Ethan's reaction, the words hanging like a pendulum between them, the shadows lengthened in his expression, a mix of hurt and disbelief. What? That's ridiculous. The vibrant energy that once lit up his eyes faded like the shimmer of carnival lights at dawn, replaced by a dull gravel in his voice. Why would he even care? Because he thinks it's bad for our family. She exclaimed, her voice cracking. He is worried that I don't fit in, that I'm not good enough for you. Just then, silence enveloped them, heavy and suffocating. Jamie could hardly bear to see the pain creeping onto Ethan's face, splitting it into fragments. But that is just wrong, he murmured, shaking slightly, as if he needed to convince himself as much as her. You mean everything to me. Hearing those words sent a shiver down her spine, a desperate longing combined with the realization that love could be both a bomb and a weapon. Every touch they shared vibrated in her mind, but now it felt tainted, poisoned by doubt. Ethan, if your brother feels this way, what if it changes how your family sees us? How will we face that? Jamie, I don't care what he thinks. Ethan's voice rose, his frustration spilling over. You and I are building something real. I thought you knew that. A heaviness settled. But if the family isn't on board, then can we really have a future? Ethan's face shifted, flickering between fury and sorrow. So that is it? You'd give up just because of him? His voice cracked, each word hitting her like a blade. No. She felt the tears prickling her eyes, a wave of emotion she'd been trying so hard to contain crashing down. I don't want to lose you. But I can pretend everything will be okay. He stepped forward, his expression softening, fingers reaching toward her. Jamie, please. Don't let him decide for us. Let us talk to him together. We can figure this out. But the uncertainty loomed. Can we? As they stood wrapped in a web of conflicting emotions, Jamie felt the tender tether they shared fraying at the edges. She didn't know if love could alone shield them from the storms ahead. And in that moment of despair, uncertainty clung to her like a thick fog. What if the truth didn't set them free, but instead tore them apart? Ethan, what if facing your brother changes everything we built? And the answer hung in the air, heavy with potential and laced with doubt, waiting to be uncovered. Jamie felt the air grow heavier as Ethan's gaze deepened into a storm of emotion. He looked at her, searching for answers in her teary eyes. The moments stretched out between them, the sound of laughter and joy from the fair now nothing but a distant memory. Do you really think I'd choose my brother over you? His voice was softer now, edged with vulnerability, yet there was an intensity beneath it that made Jamie's chest ache. It's not about choosing, she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. It's about what that choice means for both of us. If he doesn't accept us, how can I feel safe? How can we build a future? Ethan's frustration flared again. Jamie, we're the ones living this life. Not him. But he is a part of your life. Your family. It's not just about us anymore, she shot back, her heart racing. Sometimes I feel like I'm fighting against shadows, he said, stepping back slightly, running a hand through his hair. The shimmer of the fairground lights twinkled behind him, but they seemed so far away now, almost mocking in their brightness. But before anything else could be said, tension stirred around them. Accountability seemed to thicken the air. What did it mean to confront Ethan's brother, to risk everything they had? Jamie suddenly felt overwhelmed, as if she was standing on a cliff, staring into the abyss of what could go wrong. What if his rejection breaks us? What if I lose you? Ethan took a deep breath, composing himself. Or what if standing up to him makes us stronger? Love is supposed to fight against those doubts and fears. It's supposed to help us face what hurts. She closed her eyes momentarily, trying to siphon strength from the pulse of the fear. I know love is strong, but what if it's not enough? Ethan closed the gap between them, his fingers brushing her arm, igniting a spark. Then let's find out now. Together. His eyes searched her face, pleading for her trust. Together, she echoed, a tiny flicker of hope igniting in her heart, but hesitation lingered. What lay ahead felt murky, an undefined future filled with questions and struggles. As the night deepened, echoes of laughter still floated through the air, yet they felt remote. The thrill of the fair faded beside the weight of their conversation, the fun intermingled with the heavy feelings that wrapped around them. Let us go talk to him, Ethan declared, a tremor of determination rushing beneath his skin. Right now. We won't hide anymore. Jamie's heart raced for entirely different reasons. The prospect of facing Ethan's brother sent a wave of anxiety crashing over her. The joy from the carnival felt like a ghost, with only memories left behind. What if it turns out worse than we imagine? Or, what if it opens a new door? Ethan replied, his voice steady but with a hint of vulnerability lingering. We owe it to ourselves to know. I can't keep pretending this isn't a part of us. His fervor was contagious, pulling Jamie in, yet doubt still clung to her thoughts like a stubborn shadow. She studied him, his adamance and warmth both heating and cooling the tumult inside her. In one brave moment, she nodded, slowly letting her heart align with her mind, a shaky admission. Okay. Together. But the weight of uncertainty trailed behind them like a ripple across still water as they walked away from the vibrant lifeblood of the fair towards the unknown. What awaited them on the other side of that conversation? Would Ethan's brother listen, or would he only deepen the chasm between them? The thought haunted Jamie like an unfinished melody, and as they moved closer to the confrontation, the tense heaviness of questions loomed large. Ethan, do you really believe that love can overcome all of this? And they both knew that while love was powerful, territory unknown always held its own set of challenges. The night shifted, revealing paths yet to be explored, making them wonder if the truth was worth the risk. The street was quieter now, shadows stretching long in the dim light. Kayla's heart thudded loudly in her chest, each step toward Ethan's brother weighing more than the last. As they turned the corner, Jamie's fingers intertwined with Ethan's, a lifeline in the growing silence between them. What if he hates me? Jamie breathed out, the words tumbling from her lips before she could stop them. Ethan glanced sideways, his expression softening. He might. But we can't control how he feels. We can only be true to ourselves. His hand squeezed hers tighter. And that is what matters. It felt like stepping into a storm. The adrenaline surged as they approached Ethan's house, each footfall echoing with anticipation. Jamie hesitated, her stomach knotting, visions of rejection flashing before her eyes. "Are you ready?" Ethan asked softly, concern etched in his features. "Not at all," she admitted, biting her lip. "But I don't want to hide anymore." As they reached the door, Ethan took a deep breath, the determination flickering in his eyes. "Let us do this together," he said, steadying her. With a nod, he knocked. The sound reverberated through the cool night air, shattering the stillness. Moments later, the door swung open, revealing Ethan's brother, Aaron. His brow furrowed in confusion, lips pressed thin. "What are you two doing here?" The tension pulled tight in his voice, similar to a wire pulled too far. "We need to talk," Ethan said, his tone firm but not harsh. Jamie could feel the intensity of the showdown in the air. "About what?" "I've got nothing to say to you." Aaron's eyes shifted to Jamie, a mix of disdain and curiosity flickering across his face. "We want to talk about us," Ethan pressed forward, voice unwavering. "About Jamie and me." "What is there to talk about?" Aaron stepped back, inviting them in but with an obvious unwillingness. "You think I care who you date?" Ethan stepped further into the threshold, Jamie following closely behind. "That is the thing, Aaron. You do care. You just don't want to admit it. We want your support." "You want my support for what? A mistake?" Aaron's voice darkened, arms crossing defensively. "Being together isn't a mistake," Jamie said, surprising herself with the confidence in her voice. "We love each other. And we know how this is going to sound, so please, just hear us out." Aaron's gaze pierced them, filled with skepticism. "Why would I want to hear you two whine about your feelings?" "Because this isn't just about us," Ethan said, a hint of desperation creeping into his tone. "We want you to understand us. For once, can't you try to see it from our perspective?" Silence enveloped the room. Jamie held her breath, her heart racing. Would this be the moment that divided them forever? Would Aaron's rejection break them apart? Aaron stared at them, his expression unreadable. Finally, he leaned against the wall, seemingly weighing their words. "Fine. Say what you need to say. But don't expect me to cheerlead for this." His voice trailed off, leaving an opening for their hearts to lay bare. Jamie met Ethan's eyes, and for a brief moment, everything around them faded. She felt the warmth of his hand in hers, the turbulent emotions swirling below. "We understand this isn't easy," she began, each word feeling like a weight lifted. "But I want you both. I want to be a part of your family." The room felt charged, with tension that seemed almost tangible. But was this the right moment to bear it all? Would her openness weave connection or merely deepen the rift? As the silence lingered, Jamie was jolted back to the reality surrounding them. The clock ticked softly in the background, each second echoing the urgency growing within. Aaron's expression shifted ever so slightly, and she had to wonder if perhaps, just perhaps, she had sparked something understanding between them. But would it be enough to change the course of their lives? Would Aaron let them in, or would he slam the door on their hopes? Jamie could feel the heart of the matter looming, and she held her breath, fearing the answer that was about to unfold in their lives. Anxiety wrapped around Jamie like a tight blanket. She watched Aaron's posture shift from closed off to somewhat open, but his eyes remained guarded. The room was thick with anticipation, and it felt as though the air itself had become heavy with unspoken words. "Look," Aaron began, his voice steady but far from warm. "Just because you two are dating doesn't mean I have to like it. I'm protective of Ethan, and I don't want to see him hurt." Jamie's heart sank. "We're not going to hurt each other." She struggled for the right words, wanting to convince him. "We're not some teenage fling. I love your brother, and I'm serious about this. A love that can take him away from everything." Aaron's skepticism lashed out. Are you sure that is love or just a phase? Frustration swirled inside her. You don't know us, she replied, her tone sharper than intended. You don't know what we've been through. Ethan stepped in, the softness in his eyes returning as he spoke to his brother. This is more than just me and Jamie. This is family. I don't want to keep living a lie. I want you to understand. I want you in our lives. Aaron's gaze darted around the room as if searching for an escape. But what if it doesn't work out? What if you break up? I can't lose you over some silly crush. The bitterness in his voice echoed through the small space. Every relationship has its risks, Jamie interjected, fighting to maintain her calm. But love is worth the risk. It's worth taking a chance when you believe in someone. Aaron fell silent, crossing his arms tighter across his chest. For a moment, the only sound was the ticking clock, its rhythm a steady reminder of the time passing by. Jamie felt her chest tighten, the hope that she had ignited slowly flickering. She considered retreating, leaving Aaron convinced that they were an accident waiting to happen. Ethan broke the stillness, his voice low yet powerful. I understand you're scared, Aaron. But pushing me away isn't going to help. Jamie makes me happy. Can't you at least try to accept that? Something shifted in Aaron's eyes then. A flicker, perhaps confusion, or maybe even fear that hinted at buried feelings. Jamie's heart raced, recognizing the potential for change. The possibility of acceptance hung in the air like a fragile glass ornament, waiting for a breeze to shatter it or a gentle hand to lift it. I just don't want you to get hurt, Aaron continued, but his voice was softer now, more uncertain. Neither do I, Jamie said, feeling the fight leave her for a moment. But I'm willing to take that chance. I care about Ethan, Aaron, and that should mean something to you, too. The atmosphere thickened, charged with unasked questions and vulnerable truths. Jamie could feel her heart hammering as they awaited Aaron's response, every second feeling like an eternity. Would this be the moment they either made a connection or fell apart completely? And what if I can't accept it? Aaron finally asked, his voice edged with vulnerability. What then? I want to give up on Ethan, she declared, her own voice steady now. Determination filled her. But I hope you'll give us a chance. They held their breath, capturing the tension, the possibility lingering between them like an open door waiting for a gentle push. As Aaron's expression shifted again, uncertainty danced across his features. Jamie could sense hope beginning to unfurl, but it wasn't fully there yet. Would he take a step forward or withdraw into the shadows he cloaked himself in? Suddenly, the rush of footsteps echoed from the hallway. Jamie's stomach twisted as she anticipated who or what would enter next. Would their moment of truth be interrupted before they had a chance to reach it? The footsteps grew louder, and Jamie felt her heart race. The door swung open to reveal Ethan's parents, their expressions a mix of curiosity and concern. They had arrived home early, catching the tail end of what had become a heavy family discussion. Hey, what is going on? Ethan's mom, Laura, asked, sensing the tension in the room. Jamie felt a rush of heat in her cheeks, unsure of how to explain the delicate situation they were in. Aaron stepped back, visibly rattled. Nothing, just talking, he stammered, his usual bravado slipping away. Laura exchanged a glance with Ethan that mirrored her growing concern. Is everything okay? You all look a bit tense. Jamie jumped in, determined to steer the moment back toward clarity despite the shadow Aaron had cast. We were just discussing how Jamie is taking you away from us, Aaron interjected, his voice sharper than before. He couldn't keep the hurt from seeping through. It felt like he was only half listening to her, half convinced of his own reservations. Hey! Ethan's voice cut through the air, passionate and protective. That is not fair, Aaron. Jamie isn't trying to take me away from anything. She has become part of our family, and I want everyone to see that. Silence filled the air, thick with uncertainty. Laura folded her arms, looking back and forth between her sons. What do you mean, part of the family? She asked, her tone shifting from worry to inquiry. Before Ethan could respond, Aaron clenched his jaw. He means what he is saying, Mom. Jamie and I, we have a history. It's complex. We were just talking about our relationship, Jamie added, her voice steady but full of emotion. About how Ethan and I are serious about each other. I care about him so much. Laura's brows knitted together as she took a step closer. Ethan, is this about what I think it is? It's not a phase. It's real, Ethan affirmed, looking directly at his mother. I love Jamie, and I want you to understand that. Jamie's heart soared at his strength, but it was quickly laced with anxiety at how this revelation could turn. What about Aaron? Laura asked gently, turning her gaze toward him. Is that what this is really about? I just don't want him to get hurt, Aaron said defensively, the edge of vulnerability trembling in his voice. What happens if it doesn't go well? What if it all blows up in our faces? Jamie's chest tightened at the realization that Aaron's fear stemmed from a deeper place. Perhaps it was about losing a bond with his brother, or the fear of facing change that he had tried to shield them from. I get it, Aaron, Jamie spoke softly, her heart reaching out for his burdens. But love isn't a guarantee. It's about growing together, facing fears, and trusting one another. Are you saying you trust her? Aaron turned sharply to Ethan. I trust Jamie more than anyone, came Ethan's quiet response. For a moment, silence cloaked them all. Jamie wondered if it was too late, would they all be able to see eye to eye? Just then, Ethan's phone buzzed on the table, drawing everyone's attention. He picked it up, his face draining of color as he read the screen. Jamie's heart fluttered with apprehension. What is it? Ethan's eyes wide and worried, he turned to Jamie. It's a voice memo from someone surprising. They might have news about us. Us? Jamie echoed, confusion and fear intertwining in her chest. Yeah, but not the kind that you want to hear. Ethan's voice faded as his gaze locked onto Aaron's, and the room felt like it was shrinking around them. What could be so damning in that voice memo? As Ethan pressed play, the atmosphere hung thick with dread and the dawning realization that everything was about to change. The sound of the voice memo crackled through the silence, a digital echo that felt more like a curse than anything. Jamie held her breath, her fingers anxiously tracing the edge of the table. Hey, it's me. The voice was unmistakable, filled with familiarity that sent shivers down her spine. It was Sarah, Ethan's ex-girlfriend. Sarah. Ethan breathed, his expression shifting from shock to confusion. Yeah, the voice went on, layered with unease. I have to tell you something. It's about Jamie. Jamie's stomach lurched. It felt as if the air had been yanked from the room. Ethan, I know we ended things, but I still care about you, and I just. Sarah's words hung heavily, a weight tethered to Jamie's chest. Please listen. I don't want to hurt you, but you deserve to know that Jamie has been seeing someone else. I've seen her. Jamie's heart raced into overdrive, she felt the blood drain from her face. What the hell? Aaron exploded, breaking the spell before silence had the chance to swallow them whole. Is she serious? Laura stood frozen, her eyes wide as she shifted uncomfortably between her sons, caught in a whirlwind of escalating emotions she was ill-prepared to navigate. Turn it off, Jamie urged, her voice barely a whisper, but Ethan held the phone in place, transfixed as if it were a portal revealing a dark truth. No, I want to hear it, Ethan said through gritted teeth, the tension in his limbs palpable. Ethan, please, Jamie pleaded, her heart fluttering in desperation. This doesn't mean anything. You know me. But as Sarah's voice continued, a recounting of distorted glimpses into Jamie's past, a flicker of doubt ignited in Ethan's eyes. And there is something else, Sarah continued, her tone shifting to a blend of concern and urgency. There is a reason she and I didn't get along. I don't think you know the whole truth. Sarah, you're lying. Jamie cried, defending herself against the invisible accusation. You are just trying to stir drama. You ended things, remember? Yet her outburst had an air of desperation that lingered. The truth swirled around them, a thick, suffocating fog clouding her defenses. Let us not act like it's not possible, Jamie, Aaron shot back, glaring with a mix of anger and betrayal. No. Ethan shouted suddenly, drawing the attention of everyone in the room. I don't believe this. You're not that person, Jamie, right? His eyes searched hers, yearning for a glimmer of reassurance, but all he found was alarm and mounting dread. The recording continued, painting a narrative that Jamie barely recognized. The events described were colorless and twisted, a version of her life that felt foreign and wrong. Ethan's grip on the phone tightened, his knuckles going white as he absorbed the weight of Sarah's words. Jamie watched the tumult of emotions dance across his face, each shift sending frozen shards of panic piercing through her heart. Ethan, she started, but the weight of the moment held her back, every word caught inside her throat. Suddenly, the recording cut off, leaving only the harsh sound of static. I need a minute, Ethan said, stepping back, his expression lost between disbelief and hurt. Jamie felt the world tilt beneath her feet. How could this be happening? Stop. Just stop, Aaron said, voice trembling, looking at his brother as if he feared the answer. What are you going to do? A silence settled over the room, heavy with unspoken fears of what the choice might be. Ethan glanced from Jamie to Aaron, uncertainty etched in every line of his young face. I don't know, he whispered, the weight of that uncertainty suffocating them all, heaving in a shaky breath. Jamie knew this was a tipping point. This was the moment where everything could shatter or survive. As Ethan took a step toward the door, Jamie reached out. Wait. Don't leave like this, but he paused, taking one last, lingering look back at her. We need to think, I need to think. With that, Ethan vanished into the dim hallway, leaving Jamie standing amid unresolved chaos and a sinking heart. What was happening? What would they say when they found him? And could Sarah's words ever be erased from their lives? Suddenly, uncertainty swarmed her mind. Just as quickly as they had begun, their moment of hope spiraled into a darker reality. In the shattering silence, Jamie felt the ground beneath her shake as a new, pressing question loomed: would Ethan ever look at her the same way again? Jamie felt the cold grip of fear wrap tighter around her heart as the door swung shut behind Ethan. His absence echoed louder than the laughter from the fair just outside, and she stood there, her thoughts a chaotic swirl. Had everything they built together just unraveled in an instant? Would she lose him over whispered words from the past? Jamie, Aaron's voice broke through the dizzying storm inside her. What the hell was that? His eyes searched hers, a mix of frustration and disbelief. Did you really think it was okay to keep things from us? I didn't keep anything from you. Jamie shot back, anger sharpening her voice. You don't understand how things were. You don't know what Sarah is trying to do. She could feel her chest burn with emotion. In that moment, she wasn't just fighting for herself but for everything she and Ethan shared: the love, the dreams, the struggles they both faced. Aaron angled himself closer, frustration shifting to confusion. You not only let this happen, but you dragged Ethan into it. His gaze bore into her, wild and wounded. You're hurting him, Jamie. Tears brimmed in Jamie's eyes. I'm not trying to. I love him. The admission burst forth, raw and fierce, desperate to be heard. If you think I'm here to ruin his life, you're wrong. I want to be a part of your family, but I can't do it without your trust. Silence hung heavily in the air, thick as fog. For a second, Jamie dared to hope that her words had broken through. But Aaron's face twisted with uncertainty, the fight still lighting his eyes. You need to figure out which side you're on, Jamie. He needs clarity. Then help me find it. She countered. Help us. You're his brother, and we can make this work. I won't back down now. A flash of something flickered across Aaron's face, indecision mixing with something softer. This is complicated. It always is. But love isn't easy. It's about facing the ones you care about. Please just try to see it from where I'm standing. As Jamie spoke, she felt vulnerable, laid bare before Ethan's brother. In that moment, she was no longer just a girl caught in a scandalous situation, she was a woman standing up for love, a love that had lifted her when the world felt heavy. Suddenly, Ethan returned, standing at the end of the hallway, face pale, eyes searching. The moment stretched painfully as Jamie held her breath, feeling Aaron's tension flare once more. What now? Ethan demanded, the energy crackling between them. Jamie was just explaining, Aaron began, but Ethan cut him off, a new resolve sparking in his eyes. Stop. His voice carried weight, commanding attention from both Jamie and Aaron. I need to know what is true. Sarah's words can't become my reality. Jamie, I need you to tell me everything. Jamie's heart thundered, her pulse a frantic drumbeat. Ethan, please, she began but paused, remembering the trust they had forged. I didn't want you to feel worried about my past. I've made mistakes. But those mistakes don't define me. They don't define us. Ethan's eyes softened, and he stepped closer, his uncertainty still clear but replaced slowly by something else. Then what is true about you and me? Jamie's voice trembled with honesty. You're my future, Ethan. I want to build something real, even if it means facing hard truths. He took a deep breath, grounding himself. I believe you, but I can't ignore what Sarah said. I need to confront that before I can move forward with us. At the vulnerability in his voice, Jamie felt a flicker of relief. This was it. They had to face their fears together, or they would be lost. Then let us call her together. Let us clear the air. Together. Ethan nodded, determination shining in his eyes. Together. With that, they drew strength from one another, holding tightly to the hope that love could weather even the deepest storms. Okay, Aaron sighed, glancing between them. The tension in his shoulders eased just a fraction. If this means you two are serious about making it work, I'll support it on one condition. What is that? Ethan asked, his brow furrowed. That you both promise to fight for this. No backing down because of fear or doubt. You talk to me, talk to each other every single time something feels off. Jamie could feel her heart soar at Aaron's unexpected support. I promise, she said, locking eyes with Ethan, who nodded in agreement. As they resolved together, Jamie felt the shadows lift, making way for new light. Their love could stand strong, fortified by honesty and the commitment to fight for one another. It was the beginning of something new. Suddenly, the phone buzzed in Ethan's pocket once more, the light inviting curiosity. It's Sarah, he said, glancing at Jamie, anxiety creeping back in the crevices of his expression. Let us address this together. Together, Jamie echoed. The three of them stood with hearts pounding, knowing this confrontation would navigate the course of their journey forward. Holding firmly onto the hope igniting within, they moved with purpose back into the chaos of the living room, ready to face the storm and greet the dawn of healing on the other side. As Jamie glanced toward Ethan, she knew they would conquer this if they leaned in and faced it hand in hand. And as they marched forward, together stronger, Jamie felt the tide of love and hope washed over them all. Don't forget, this is the moment to show your support. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to help feed the algorithm. Your engagement matters. Comment down below with your thoughts and feelings on this dramatic ending. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this amazing transformation. True fans understand the importance of supporting our journey together.